What's up, everybody? This is Sport Aces Podcast here. I'm Chris Ortega. We have Tom Bucciferro to the left or right of me, wherever how your screen look. We're here on another episode here. I know you guys was looking for a new episode yesterday. Let's just say I got busy with work, so today we dropping this new episode. It's probably gonna be on the weekend, so it's Saturday morning. Good morning to everybody. If it's the afternoon, good afternoon, everybody on this Saturday. But how you been, Tom?
Not too bad, man. I know you wanted to get right into the whole Deion Sanders thing, but um, Jets look like they're close to hiring Aaron Glenn from the Lions. So I'm
That
excited about that. He's a former player. He's
yeah,
a
like
defensive
that's not
guy.
bad.
He's a defensive guy, but yeah, I don't know. He's on the Lions. I'm excited. We'll see. We'll see. I hope they make the right decision.
I got a good feeling for y'all, man. I got a good feeling that y'all found like a good guy for y'all organization. I think he could come in and make an impact because he coming from a winning culture where the Lions been building. He been under Dan Campbell. I think everything he learned from Dan Campbell, he has a little twist into it. He'll be able to put y'all over the top, man. But it all depends on how y'all do this all season with making the tough decision about Aaron Rodgers, seeing if y'all want Devontae Adams still, and whatever draft picks y'all get, because that's gonna play a huge role for y'all going
Yeah.
forward.
I mean, I like the fact that you mentioned the culture because we need that badly. We don't have a culture right now, and I hope Glenn can start to set that in motion for us. Because I mean, we haven't had a team culture since I feel like since Rex Ryan was there. So, but yeah, I mean, let's hopefully we we can see ourselves have a little bit of hope because I mean we've had so much like false sense of hope recently just because like we had Rodgers and everyone's like, oh yeah, like we got a good squad around us, and then Rodgers gets hurt the first year, and then this year I mean, second half of the year he was good, but team just wasn't
Nah,
there.
I just think mentally everybody was checked out, in my
Yeah, no,
personal.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
and hopefully, they it just I feel like for the fan base, I think they just need to be patient,
And
understand
we've been
that.
patient though, that's the thing. Like
I think with this new head coach, I think whatever his vision is for the team, just see how it plays out in the off season, and then potentially y'all might have like a good chance depending on how the next season play out for y'all. So I got high hopes for y'all.
me too, man. We'll
Yeah.
see.
But the Dallas Cowboys. Um I've been seeing, headlines. I've seen Twitter blowing up about, Deion Sanders to the Cowboys. And I follow a podcast, shout out to DNVR podcast, because they cover all Colorado sports. And they do cover the Colorado Buffaloes. It's very intriguing how a year ago we was questioning his coaching ability because they was 4-8 last year. This year they go 9-4. And now we're yammering about he could be an NFL head coach. I don't think Dion right now would be a great fit for the NFL right now. I would say he has so much left to prove on the college level because overall, job's not done. In the famous words of Kobe being Bryant, job's not done. So it's like, how can everybody want the headlines? People love the attention that he can bring. And I respect it. But what I can foresee is if we start losing games, have one losing season, we don't make it to far in the playoffs, all of a sudden, he should stay at Colorado. He should stay in college. Now y'all going, everybody going back on what they said. And I'm here to say, I think Dion should stay at Colorado because he has so much left to prove. I feel like this year and the next couple years, I believe he has more to prove without his sons being at Colorado. Let's see if he can really be a coach without his sons being there. Like a great coach without his sons and Travis Hunter being there. So that's my spiel about it. I'm not going to be yelling at the top of my lungs like what the fuck we doing? No, I'm gonna be logical about it because every year we keep saying, well, we need this coach, we need that coach. But everything starts with the culture that we have. And Jerry want to be the star of the show. It don't make no sense to bring in Deion Sanders to try and make trades to get a top draft pick to bring his son in, or bring both his sons in. And if it don't go well, we're back to square one. And I'm gonna be like, wow, that's crazy. I could have sworn I said this, but everybody was just on this hype train, which we shouldn't have been on that from the jump. We should have just let him coach in college, see what developments he can learn from his growth in the college game, then make it to the NFL level. Because he hasn't won a bowl game. He hasn't won a fucking bowl game. No disrespect to people who are fans of Colorado. He hasn't won a fucking bowl game. So at the same time, why am I about to invest in a coach that didn't take or win the big games when it was needed? Because when you get to the NFL, every game matters in the NFL. There's not no, oh, we can lose this game and that game, and then we can win the next three. No, every game matters. So that's just my spirit.
No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, if you see, there's a bunch of clips of like Dion coaching his players up, and like he's just more of like a college guy. Like he wants to develop young adults into men. And in the NFL, you already have men on your team. So it's like, I mean, would Dion be a good NFL coach because of his experience? Probably. But I don't think, like you said, he has a lot to prove. Like he was with Shador and Shiloh there for the first 2 years at Colorado. And he's always coached his son since he's been like at Jackson State, like, and he had a Heisman winner. So it's like, what is he going to do this year with no Heisman winner? And I mean, yeah, he got some good quarterback prospects that he'll. I want to see how he develops a young guy before.
Yeah, like that's where people kind of miss the lines of everything because I look at what Colorado's trying to build going forward. I think people automatically assuming he's going to leave because, hey, they throw this amount of money, he's going to leave because he's going to take the money regardless. I get that.
He doesn't need the money though. That's the thing. Like,
But at the same time, like, what, like, I feel like he would tarnish his own legacy in college football if he left to go to the Cowboys. Because
yeah,
what I
it's a little
think,
too soon. That's the thing.
yeah, and what I think is he's going to tarnish his legacy because then if he decides to ever go back to college football, people is going to have like second guesses now about playing for you because you up and left a team, a whole university that was trying to build and become this powerhouse, and you up and left them for the money. So what makes you think I'm gonna trust you with my kid if you're gonna up and leave them because of money? That's the worst case
It's true.
scenario.
It's true.
That's why like you don't want to have that reputation because Bobby Petrino has a bad reputation.
Yeah.
Even though he did get a chance to coach Lamar Jackson or that sort. Assuming he was head coach at Louisville when Lamar was there. Bobby Petrino had bad experience because he was at Louisville, went to Atlanta Falcons. Oh, I'm gonna just dip and go to back to college. Like when you're in the NFL, you're dealing with grown ass men. These ain't the guys like his motivational speeches is perfect for the college level. What I see a grown 38-year-old man needing to hear a Dion speech,
No.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think a 38-year-old man is gonna want to run through a wall hearing the Coach Brown speech sometimes. You got guys who just think they know it all. So I just feel like he should just stay. My end summary is he should stay at Colorado because I think it's best that he's somewhere that he already has control. I mean, he is in the contract negotiations, from what they said on the podcast. So I mean, it's just headlines, just everything to keep himself relevant, keep his name relevant. But y'all gotta remember, guys, it's the thing of media. You want to keep your name in the headlines, and the good thing, and one thing about it, people gonna see like, oh, this guy must be a real big deal.
True.
So that's my end. I know right now we interviewing Kellen Moore, your former coach Robert Saleh, and Leslie Frazier from the Seahawks. So I don't know who I want more out this list though.
I mean, Kellen Moore has experience within the organization, so I guess out of all those three guys, he'd probably be the best fit, in my opinion. But in terms of like head coaching experience, like I know Salah only has a couple of years, but I also know that he's a very likely candidate to go to Jacksonville. So
Yeah, because I
I could
think
see Kellen Moore though. I like out of all those options, I think Kellen Moore is the most realistic because I don't know. I just feel like Jerry would hire somebody like from within the organization already.
yeah, I think the reason why I can see more Kellen Moore because the familiarity with the organization because you've been there before, you work with Jerry. Jerry know who you are. He's comfortable with you. Comfortable with you. He knows what you can bring to the table coming back to Dallas. Robert Saleh, I think the thing that gets questionable is how the things ended in New York the last
Yeah, but
two
I'm not even gonna
season
blame
and a
that
half.
on
But
him.
it wasn't on him. It was kind of like as a head coach, like defensively, they look great. Like he'll improve our defense more because I think he'll be more defensive focused. But I think Kellen Moore will probably get the most out of that potential. And the years we have that, Kellen Moore will probably be the one who will probably get the most out of that.
That's true.
And I think Dak will probably be okay with getting the Kellen Moore.
It's an important decision for them. It really is
Yeah,
because
because now it's like how many years is he gonna have? To figure out what's the next steps, Like that's
McCarthy was there for what, like half a decade, maybe more.
he was there 2019, 2020, 2019.
Yeah, so 5 years.
Yeah, like, but I think now Jerry kind of probably have a little patience now because he's starting to realize you gotta figure it out sooner or later. 'Kay, every team that's around you is being like playoff team, Super Bowl contenders every season, and we're the team every year that supposed to be in that conversation, but we lack in a lot of areas of sorts. So it depends, man, because if Kellen Moore comes, he gotta come in day one. You gotta figure out like, and the free agency gotta be a huge deal this year. It can't be that, oh, we're gonna be passive about, going into the off season. No, y'all gotta be aggressive because it's very important that y'all make the moves early because I don't want to miss out on no good potential free agents this year.
No, you definitely don't because made that mistake already. I mean, every team makes that mistake. Like, not every team, but like most Cowboys are just like the main example because of the Derrick Henry situation. But I mean, like Dallas is it's a very good destination. Like it's good weather in Texas. Like free agents are gonna want to go play for Dallas, especially, you know, since I mean y'all got a solid squad. Like CeeDee Lamb's great, Micah Parsons is good. Like Trayvon Diggs, I mean he's had a rough couple of years, but he's still a good corner. Running back's a little questionable, but I mean if y'all get Genty in the draft, then you got a star for the future there. Brandon Cooks is a little old, but you can pick somebody up in free agency.
Well, from the top 10 from Underdog website, for the top 10 free agency, you have T. Higgins at number one, Chris Godwin, Marquise Brown, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Josh Palmer, Stephon Diggs, Deontay Johnson, and Elijah Moore.
Thing is, like I think probably seven of those guys are not going anywhere. I don't see Godwin leaving. I don't see, especially after that huge injury he had. I don't. I
No,
don't see.
Stephon Diggs ain't leaving either because,
No, Diggs ain't leaving because he just got injured.
yeah,
T is questionable because like this is the whole thing that everybody's been talking about. Like Bengals got to pay Jamar this huge bag, and
you
are
have to.
are
You
they going to be
have
able to
to.
afford T Higgins? Probably not. But they obviously like they want to keep them together. But the question is like Jamar's not taking a pay cut. We know that because he already
You triple
Jamar
crown. Like you triple crown. Like for a wide receiver to
he bet
triple
on
crown,
himself. He bet on himself and won. So
like y'all lucky he went through the whole entire season with y'all playing on the contract
I
with
mean
no
he's not
contract.
going to leave. Like the thing about Jamar Chase is like he'll stay with the Bengals for his whole career. I think he's one of those guys that's not going to leave the team because he's got Burrow's not leaving any either.
I think
Like,
that's
them two
probably
are going to be together forever.
that's the only added incentive of him staying in Cincinnati, knowing that you have Joe Burrow and you have your college quarterback that knows everything about you. I don't think he want to take that risk and go elsewhere.
I
That's
mean
why
I know
he's going
T doesn't
back.
want to leave either.
But
Like it's tough. It really is.
yeah, because this is how you're gonna have to come down to either Jamar can get a great deal, but it's not gonna be like the highest paid deal. It's gonna be a good deal where leave enough room to see if T want to get the money that he's gonna get. But it all depends how this negotiation goes with Jamar Chase.
The thing about T Higgins is like he is probably a number one receiver on a lot of teams. Like the guy is talented. Like he's a number one receiver if you put him on like probably half the league's teams. So it's like, does he want to get paid and have a bigger role in the offense, or does he want to have a chance at winning a championship? And the most realistic thing the Bengals could do is franchise tag him, which would suck for him. But that'd be I think that's what they have to do. You have to franchise him.
If you're gonna tag him, you gotta tag him for a good price. Gotta be at least
He's
like
gonna
20.
get offers.
Yeah,
Like
he is.
the Patriots are definitely gonna offer him. I could see the Chargers throwing an offer his way. I mean, hell, Carolina could throw an offer his way. You never know, man. Like any of those teams that need a dominant receiver, like Carolina's got, they got nobody really except Thielen, and Thielen's getting old.
It's
And
gonna be
Bryce Young needs a
the
receiver,
Patriots. The Patriots got a lot of cash flow, man.
and they got Drake May, who's a good young quarterback.
Like they got a lot of cash flow in this free agency. And then the people that they have as cut candidates, Christian Kirk, Tyler Lockett, Alan Lazard, Kendrick Bourne. That's it, Debo Sanders.
Huh?
That no, I'm just going down the cut candidates that they have for the wide receiver positions. That's going to get potentially cut from the team. Kendrick Bourne, Alan Lazard, Tyler Lockett, Debo Samuel, Christian Kirk, and Devontae Adams.
I mean, I personally as a Jets fan, I'd love to keep Adams, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he
Trade
wants to go back to.
candidates.
I think he wants to go back to Green Bay.
Now, trade candidates. This is all like people who they think could is doubtful but all possible. Um, Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, Cooper Kupp, Michael Pittman, and Traylon Burks.
I really hope we don't trade Garrett Wilson. I'd cry.
I think I think if Garrett Wilson leave New York, I think he's only doing it because his time there so far kind of been like a up and down roller coaster for him. And I think he's trying to leave as early as possible. If he demands a trade, I think he's trying to leave as early before he feels like I'm just wasting away in New York, you know. But y'all can get a lot of trade value for him. That's the crazy thing. Like you can mess around and get like two first rounders for him.
I mean, I mean, he's worth it because I mean, even on our terrible offense, he's putting up numbers. He had his best season of his career this year in terms of receptions, yards, and TDs. So, or maybe not yards, but touchdowns definitely. Receptions 100%. He was leading the league in receptions at one point. So it's like
Yeah.
I I know that he's gonna be on trade rumors lists all off season. It's just like if we're gonna do it, I do it before the draft, get a couple of picks for him. But I just don't want to see him go, man, because he's one of those young guys that can really start to rebuild the team. Him, Brees Hall, Jermaine Johnson, Sauce. I mean, Sauce had a down year, but he's still a good corner.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think the whole team just like we didn't play up to our standard because we were just mentally checked out halfway
I
through.
yeah, I think because when y'all had a rough start, that played into the idea of like
Well, it's the expectation too. Like
yeah,
everybody expected the Jets to make the playoffs, and then they just completely flopped.
yeah, like y'all mentally kind of put yourselves in like that standard, that mindset of like, all right, we just gonna tank the rest of the season. And it wasn't like no, wow, like y'all not putting no effort into it. It's just like I can tell y'all was checked out. Like y'all was in games like y'all were putting up a fight, but then it's like, yeah, man, we just losing.
Yeah, I mean it's whatever. Like it's Rodgers will most likely be gone, so we'll see what we do at quarterback. I'm not really. This next season is gonna be a transition period. Like we're gonna be bad again. Like it is what it is. Like
No, I think it's gonna be a season that like, y'all trying to figure things out. Like I know my Cowboys, we got a need in every position. And like looking at the running backs in free agency, I mean, Aaron Jones is 31. Rico can come back, but we don't know what we're doing there. I think the mindset is now probably getting Genty. I think that's the mindset is now is we all on Genty.
I'd be shocked if you guys didn't draft him, honestly.
The only way, the only way I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get him is we get an offensive lineman, like a solid offensive lineman.
I mean, that's not bad. That's not a bad shout
Yeah,
either.
yeah, that's the only way where I'm gonna sit here and be like, I understand the move, personally. I understand why. Because you have a higher chance of building your offensive line and can just get somebody in free agency than you get the rookie, but then all of a sudden you don't know what could happen with his rookie season. So it's all up in the air, man. Like, even with the defensive side of the ball, it's crazy because the amount of names I'm seeing on the edge list is like, wow. Like
A lot.
Josh Sweat, Khalil Mack, Demarcus Lawrence, Chase Young, Dante Fowler, Hassan Reddick. That, oh my God, boy, that was something. That was an interesting saga of that
He
sort.
played terrible this year too.
They all that sitting out, and he didn't produce nothing.
Yeah,
Man,
I wouldn't be mad if we got rid of him, but I know if he goes somewhere else, he'll probably be all pro again. So it's like whatever, bro. Like we have a plenty of good edge rushers anyway, so I'm not really worried about it.
yeah, it's just man. I feel like this upcoming year, man, it's like so many guys. It's like that's like out there. That's like you can find a good steal in the free agency pool. So, but it's just crazy, man. Like I just still can't believe, man, this whole like I can't believe my team really did that. Speaking of the saga, what's going on with this Jimmy Butler thing, man? Like this Jimmy Butler thing has been interesting to me.
Well, they just like sitting out games because he doesn't he wants to get traded, but Pat Riley won't trade him. It's like at some point somebody's got to give.
It's like seeing a cowboy do it. It's like we got the guns, somebody got to shoot first, and nobody don't want to go first and shoot. So it's like
Well, it's like I
trying to
don't
figure out.
thing is I don't understand what Jimmy's problem is. Like they're not a bad team. It's not like he's on a terrible team. Like the Heat have some good young players. They got Tyler Hero, who's been playing like an all-star this year. Bam Adebayo's a great center. And if you add Jimmy in the lineup, and Nikola Jovic is having like he's been a decent like role guy. Hawkes is good. Like
I
I don't know.
think
Jimmy's always been like this though. Like he the past ever since he left Chicago, he's been bouncing around. Like he was Minnesota and then 76ers, and then he finally seemed like he was found a place in Miami, and now he just wants to leave again. I mean, they made the finals like twice.
yeah,
So
I know that's the crazy thing about it. When you sit and like kind of like break it down, you just sit there like, hold on,
they made the finals twice. Like,
you
come
made
on,
the
bro.
finals twice with this same team. So how can you not want to, play? But it just shows what can happen next. And it's crazy because Minnesota, I think the Minnesota thing was kind of like we knew it
I don't know.
wasn't gonna work because of Cat.
Yeah,
And him and Cat wasn't on the best of terms. So I see why it didn't work there. But when he was with the Sixers, it was potential there. But they chose Tobias Harris over him.
true.
And that kind of like,
That pissed him off. Yeah.
yeah, because it's kind of like no disrespect, but like you just let Jimmy go ahead and then kept Tobias Harris, which come to look at it, should kept Jimmy.
I mean, they got rid of Tobias Harris anyway, so it's like,
It wasn't like, oh, because like imagine Jimmy Butler still on them teams. Like Ben Simmons would have never had been in that funk. And it's just crazy. Speaking of which, man, yeah, it's crazy how so many guys that was good before all of a sudden we don't never hear from them again, man. Like it's crazy, man, how one play in the playoffs fucked the whole mindset of a player. It's
well,
crazy,
yeah.
man.
I mean, Ben Simmons has some other had some other issues. Like he just took the whole like, oh, you can't shoot threes to heart, and then obviously missing that layup was just like yeah, it's a bad play. Everybody has bad plays. Like you gotta know how to get through it. And then he's barely touched the flight. This year he's been on the floor more for the Nets, but like I don't know, man. He's always got something going on. Oh, his back's hurting or oh, his knees hurting. It's like, dude, like if you don't want to play in the NBA, like you made your money, like you can retire. Like
Nah, man.
you got a max deal. Like you Nets paid him the Nets paid him a lot. So the Sixers. Because he would like Ben Simmons came in the league, he was good. Like he was an all-star. Like
He was an all defensive team. Like we ain't
he was
gonna.
great. He was a
Yeah,
great player.
I'm not going to sit here and throw like darts at him like he was a
But like
scrub.
he wasn't a bust. Like he came into the league and he performed. He
Really
made the
did.
all-star team,
He really
I think, three
did.
times.
He really
And
did
then I don't
perform.
like he's a great passer for his size. That's what he came into the league though. Like everybody knew that Simmons was not gonna be a guy that you're gonna rely on to shoot six, seven threes a game and hit like fit like 40, 30, like 35 to 40% of them. You knew Simmons was going to be a guy that could run the offense, make the right passes, and you need to surround him with shooters and a good big, which is what the Sixers did. They had good shooters and they had Embiid. And then Jimmy comes into the equation and it just kind of fucks everything up, I guess. I don't
I think, man, hopefully, man, things get better with him because I really like when he was like really short. It wasn't like he was a bad player. No, he was like a guy that like a good facilitator, like could be a potential like guy who can give you like, okay, he can give me like 12, 8, and 8, like a potential triple double for a season, but everything starts right here, man. All in the mind, bro. When you
I mean, this guy like look at his first 4 years in the league. First year, rookie year, won rookie of the year, 16 a game. Second year, 17 a game, was an all-star, averaging first year as a rookie coming in 15, 16, 8 and 8 and nearly two steals a game. And then 2019 was probably by far his best year, like 16 and a half, 8, 8 and two steals. And then his last year in Philly, he was second in defensive player of the year voting. Like,
and the crazy thing is when you look at like his field goal percentage, it wasn't like bad field goals. He's taking like pretty good percentage shots. So like
exactly.
that's just like the crazy thing about it. Like it's just certain guys. It's like I wish they can get their ish together. But speaking of which, um, last night's games. I'm gonna be honest. I was watching some of the games or tuning into some. I think the Thunder has potential to go to the finals.
The first so they had obviously that big broadcasted matchup like a couple weeks ago, and the Cavs dominated. They won, kept their winning streak alive, and then they come back. Like the thing is, Donovan Mitchell in both of those games really underperformed. And then last night, like I mean, Shea's out here just dropping 40, like, does it every game pretty much. And they don't like
Man,
we said that I said this a couple episodes ago. They don't even have Chet, their second best guy. Like, it's crazy.
that is crazy when you sit and think
And he's
about
gonna come
it.
back. He'll be back before the playoffs. So
Yeah, because it's just like, dude, like you legit is gonna have like a great team. And it's like him not being there, it does play a part, but it's like, dude, he come back and you have Hartenstein, like both of them together. Jesus, that's a dangerous group right there.
I mean, even last night, you got guys stepping up like Lou Dort, 19 minutes, dropped 22. Like Jalen Williams he's been that guy to pick up.
Isaiah Joe coming off the bench,
Yeah, dude.
12
The other night he
points.
had like 20 something points. Yeah. Like
Yeah, like
he only shoots threes, but I mean,
yeah,
he's
it's
good.
just crazy, man. Like
I mean, they have Hardenstein too. Like Hardenstein's stepping into the starting role, but once
he was
Chet
out
comes back
yesterday.
home,
He was out last night.
yeah, but one they don't even yeah, exactly. Like they didn't even
Yeah,
have him. He's a defensive guy, rebounder. Like they have all like Sam Presti, man. Like you gotta give it up for him.
I
Making
forgot you.
that huge trade with the Clippers, like just like everybody knew from that moment, like the Clippers haven't even sniffed the finals since that trade. Paul George is gone. So it's like that was like one of the most lopsided trades like I've ever seen because Shea developed into an MVP candidate, and he's probably the favorite right now, to be honest with you. Like Henry Jokic is the favorite, so
Man, that had to be the funniest. It's crazy because we gotta look back at like the craziest trades of all time, bro. In NBA, like NBA trades you wish you regret.
that's got to be up there, dude. Like I'm telling you.
Like the massive trade deals that's happening. It's like it's I don't know, man. It's just that like who was one trade that I think that was bad? Oh, Bradley Beal to the Suns. That is slowly looking like a bad trade, man.
I mean, he's coming off the bench now, so but I mean, he's been playing better off the bench. He had a couple 25-point games coming off the bench, but yeah, that trade's looking bad. Bradley Beal was a scoring champ like 2 years in a row with the Wizards because he had Russ for one of those years. Like Bradley Beal's a great scorer. He just doesn't fit on that Suns team. Like he needs to be able to be the number one option. And on that Suns team, he's the third option behind Booker and Durant. So it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
that Westbrook experiment with the Lakers, that was a disaster from a distance.
dude, Russ seems to have found his niche though. Like he's been playing fantastic with Denver though.
I'm gonna say
I was out here
this.
calling him washed, and he's been.
I wasn't one of the people. I felt like personally, people who are Lakers fans, I'm gonna say this. He wasn't gonna work with LeBron. Like,
Oh,
let
I
me
know
just say
that. Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He wasn't gonna work well with LeBron. Like, anybody could say that.
It's just
And
it's just crazy how many teams that Russ has been on in the past 5 years. It's like jumping from Houston and the Lakers, the Clippers, the Wizards. Now he's on Denver. So it's like, damn, like this is a guy I thought I was gonna be on the Thunder for life, and then he's been on so many different squads. But he's still performing, man. Like he's definitely like I said, he's definitely found a place in Denver, and Denver's got a good squad. Like they'll make a good playoff run too. And if there's any player in the league that I want to see win a ring, it'd definitely be him for sure. Because after all the insane statistics he put up early in his career, like he deserves it.
do you think that Ben Simmons trade was bad? It was bad for both parties, in my opinion.
I mean, he hasn't done anything with the Nets, so I mean, you
But
could.
but James Harden really didn't do much with the Sixers.
Harden, I will say this though, Harden performed better than Simmons did, and it's not really hard to do that because Simmons
Yeah.
barely played. And Harden's now he's got his own team over there back in LA because Kawhi barely steps on the floor, so it's like
Talk about it, man. Like
I mean
it's just crazy.
Harden's definitely had his moments with Philadelphia where he looked like his old self. Like he had a couple games where he dropped like, the 40-point bomb where he was just hitting threes and is the thing is like he's never gonna be that guy that drops 36 a game again. Like he's too everybody knows what he's gonna do now. With Houston, he was young. Like
Oh yeah, fresh from the Thunder teams that made it to the finals. Oh, you would have thought James Harden about to be a Hall of Famer just staying on the Houston team. Eh, eh, eh.
I mean he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He won MVP,
Oh,
so
yeah, he
most
definitely
most guys that
is.
every guy that wins MVP usually makes the Hall of Fame. It's the case of like I mean this is unrelated, but it has a relation to the MVP topic. It's like Derrick Rose like won MVP, but does he make the Hall of Fame? It's an
It's
ego question.
it's a tough debate because I think the difference between the two, one was plagued with injuries, then the other one who had chances of going far in the playoffs, but they never made it far in the playoffs like that. Well, they did get to the Western Conference Finals,
Hey man, that
but
Rockets team was 65-17 when they
yeah,
made all that.
yeah, but
They had a
like,
lead too.
but it's like the thing is about James Harden is going to be where was you in these big game moments when we needed you the most?
But yeah, when they made the finals when
Like,
he was on the Thunder, he was young, so I'm not expecting him to.
no, the Thunder, anything with the Thunder early career, I don't really look at it as a mark on most of like Westbrook, KD, and Harden mark. After the Thunder, that's when it's like I have to start to question, stuff about like your the play. Like thing that's get questioned about Durant is like, did you really have to if he didn't get the rings, was we still gonna look at KD the way we do now?
I think so, just because he's such a generational type of scorer, like, and I mean, even at his age now, he still puts up numbers. So it's like with the whole like, yeah, obviously, obviously, it made a lot of people upset when he chose to go to the Warriors, but
He made a lot of people upset.
it's a decision for him that he needed to make because it makes him get those rings. And yeah, it's weak. It's one of the weakest moves in NBA history in a lot of people's opinions. But like, if you're Kevin Durant and you see an opportunity to win a ring, you're gonna take it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, doesn't matter who it is, where you go. Like, if he had went to any other team, it would have been fine. Like, nobody would care. But
I think because like
it
the
had to be the Warriors.
situation was just like, all right, bro.
And then he tried it again with the Nets because they tried to build a team there, and it just flopped.
That that run, that Nets one, like I don't know what could be potentially going to be the one stop that's going to affect this, like that Hall of Fame moment when you
Let's see.
look at career wise, either the Suns or the Nets
I mean,
stop.
I don't mind him going to the Suns because like it's whatever.
I think with the Suns, it's kind of like I didn't expect you to do much there now. Well, now like it's Booker and Bill, but now the way I was looking, it's kind of like you just had a situation where the ownership was just paying all you guys this money, or y'all come in with these high contracts. Y'all got no pieces around y'all to make a run. But even in the playoffs, y'all ain't really show no good chemistry together as a unit. The Nets is kind of like it's like the one that I kind of will always remember. Like this shit was kind of a disaster because the first year him and Kyrie was out, right? Or was it him and no, he was out most of the whole year. And it was just Kyrie.
Yeah,
And
because he was going
then
off a torn Achilles, so he was out.
yeah, he was in for the Achilles. Then get Harden. So now it's Harden, Kyrie, and him, but they never was on the floor together like that. So now you gotta figure out who good with who.
I
And
mean, they
that
were
was
good
tough.
when the thing is when they played together, they were a good team. They were very good. Problem is they never played together. So
Yeah,
it's like
and that plays a huge part in like team success, man. But hopefully we see what can the Suns do going forward. We see these trades don't have like a domino effect. I mean, the big trade that I wish I could see happen, I think Jimmy Butler might end up getting traded. I think Zion might get traded, personally.
I mean, Pelicans ain't going anywhere, man. Like problem is Zion's so unreliable to play. It's just like what team's gonna take a chance on
Yeah,
him? Like, when he does play, Zion's good, but
yeah,
problem is he plays. So
he's
it's like
phenomenal, but it's that question mark of, like you said, can I rely on him to play in this game? Can he adhere to the contract details of, hey, we need you at this playing weight and stuff? So hopefully some do change of that. But another great news that we seen on this Friday, Dawn Staley, man, highest paid women's basketball coach, man, college basketball, man. We gotta show love, man. Cause let me tell you, Dawn Staley deserve it, man. South
absolutely.
Carolina, like, no matter what y'all say, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of like watching women's college basketball more than the men's right now because the storylines. Like
I
every
think
year, it's not like I don't know why. I just only wait till like March Madness to see the men's.
yeah, I mean the thing about the men's college basketball is like yeah, there's a lot of like especially this year there's a lot of like young stars like Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, uh Dylan Harper, like there's a lot of young good
Yeah,
players. But the women's just have like they come off their best their best performance in terms of ratings last year. It was obviously Caitlin Clark and stuff, and South Carolina is a juggernaut, and there's you know they're nasty every year. And then Paige Becker's over there at UConn. Like she's probably gonna end up being our one pick this year and next year in the draft. So it's like
that's
and
probably
UConn's doing their thing like they always do. So
and that's probably gonna be the best thing that ever happened to Dallas, man. Paige Beckers, man. That's the only reason why I probably be hype about Dallas teams. The Dallas Rings, baby. I really want her to be the Golden State Valkyrie though, so I can have like a new WNBA team. Yeah, that's my new team, guys. Money, money making Kate. Oh yeah, Kate Martin. Oh yeah, she about to ball out there, man. I'm gonna be honest. Speaking of which, man, you need to get you like a WNBA hoodie or like the Valkyrie hoodie because they got like a dope hoodie, bro. That like I've been contemplating on like getting one.
I'll have to look into it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean we got the
But
Connecticut Sun here, man.
oh, of course, hell yeah. But I gotta see how they who they picking up or who they keeping. That matters.
True.
So, but before we end this podcast, man, just some updates, man. Tennessee Titans offensive assistant Peyton McCullum was selected to be the quarterbacks coach at the East West Shrine Bowl later this month. McCullum will be coaching the West team quarterbacks, which include Colorado's Shador Sanders and and Callahan, Brian Callahan will be in attendance at the game. So maybe Shador might go number one, you
We'll
know?
see. I mean, we'll see, man. This will be an interesting draft for sure. It's the quarterbacks. I'll say like Quinn. Obviously now Quinn Ewers is in the mix because he's in the draft now. So
Hmm.
I don't think he's in consideration to go very high. But
This draft class of quarterbacks is, how can I say it? this year class is like, who's going to really show out in a rookie year if they become the guy? Because a lot of people don't think this is a good quarterback class.
I mean, I love Cam Ward as a prospect. I think he's going to be good. It's just I don't know if he's going to be good right away. I'm not expecting him to be good right away. Like that's the thing. Like a lot of fans are like, oh, like they're spoiled with like the Jaden Daniels of the world, the Bo Nixes, like the guys that step in and immediately, make a positive impact. Like and like the CJ Strouds or the Joe Burrows. Like not every quarterback is gonna come in right away and make an impact. Like you see it. Like Caleb didn't even have a bad year, but like people were expecting him to be this like Patrick Mahomes type of player right off the rip. It's like, dude, like they don't have an offensive line. Like he has no time. And if you look at his
So,
stats, he didn't even play bad.
so I got an answer to that though. The problem that I see that people have, we we try to set these high expectations because we go off of what we've seen in college, per se. We go off what we've seen in
Oh, I
college,
understand that for sure.
and they look at, like, for example, the CJ Stroud of the world, where you see CJ Stroud had a great season, but Bryce Young didn't have a great year. But then you start seeing things going to change because I would tell people don't believe off that first season. You guys see what they do in the
Exactly.
next 2 to 3 years. Because,
Exactly.
like I always use that example, Mac Jones is a perfect example. Sid Stroud had, even though he in the playoffs, he was struggling a bit this season. Like people are going to struggle. Quarterbacks are going to struggle their first year. I'm not expecting them to take a team, a franchise to a Super Bowl their first year. They gotta know the game. They gotta understand like certain passes they used to get away with, not gonna be the same passes they can get away with when they get to the NFL. So it's all about development. I mean, it's just a wild card to see who get picked after Cam Ward and Shador. Who's gonna be the next quarterback off the board? Because it's up in the air.
Honestly,
Like
I don't see another. I think there's only probably two first round guys. I think it's Shador and Cam Ward. I don't really see any other guys going off the board. I mean, I'd be shocked to be honest with you if any other QBs get taken that early.
I'd be shocked as well. I'd be more surprised at
There's
like
a lot of good
five.
skill guys this year and a lot of offensive linemen.
It's a good running back class.
Yeah, I mean even corners like Will Johnson from Michigan, bro. Like he's a pro. Like that guy
Running
played
backs,
lockdown.
receivers is a
I
pretty
mean,
good.
Egbuka's coming in from OSU, so and then Teteroa McMillan from Arizona, Travis Hunter, obviously. Who knows what he's gonna do, where he's gonna play, wide receiver, corner, like, and then Will Campbell from LSU, the O lineman, like he's gonna go high in the draft. There's a lot of good D linemen as well. A couple of Georgia guys coming in. Trevor Etienne from Georgia, I think he might have declared as well, or he's thinking about it.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously Genty as well. So, yeah, I'm excited, man. I know the draft's 3 months away, but I'm excited.
Hopefully, man, we see more happen. I know later this month is the East and West Shrine Bowl. So I'm gonna try to watch it whenever I got free time and see the practices so I can be like, he's going one. He's going one. It'd be like this. He's going number one. There's no doubt in my mind. They're gonna go number one. But
I mean, right now I think it's Cam Ward, but you never know.
yeah, you never know the way how these NFL teams be thinking. So only time can tell, man. Only time can tell, man. But to conclude this episode of the podcast, today we ain't had no fan questions, but we did get a lot of people who really want to be guests on our show. So just make sure y'all be on the lookout for any emails or DMs from the Sport Aces podcast. See when we can get you on as a guest. But from everybody here at the Sport Aces podcast, so glad that you tuned in. Go ahead, subscribe, like, share, comment to all your peers. I'm Chris Ortega,
Bujafaro.
and this is the Sport Aces podcast, and we'll see you next week.